Hey Gisele, good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good too. So, what time is it for you? Afternoon. Had your how's it? How's the day going?
Yeah, it's 1 p.m. just now, so halfway through another week, right? Because it's also halfway through the week. So yeah, no, I'm doing good. I'm doing
Yes.
good. Just busy, but that's healthy, so can't complain. How about yourself?
Yeah, same here. Just like literally halfway through the week.
Mm-hmm.
So 2.5 days done, 2.5 days more. Going quite exciting with all the work which is going on with in partnership with the Staken. So, how are things going there? How is staking doing overall?
Yeah, good. I mean, we just wrapped up another fun year with a lot of new team members joining, a lot of new networks. So I was very excited. And then, now we are, well, prepping, but also already full on into the new year, preparing for some of the test nets that we are currently on that will become mainnet hopefully this year.
Mm-hmm.
And just lots of new things. I think there's actually, I'm quite excited for this year because there's so much coming up.
Oh,
Lots
nice.
of, yeah, so cannot complain, just busy, but in a good way.
Nice. So let's wait for a few more minutes for others to join and then we'll get started.
Yeah, for sure. No rush.
Yeah. Also, Giselle, if you have any places where you can share that we are live along with our AM, it would be great.
Yeah, yep, yep. I
Yeah.
will.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Giselle, how about we get started and people can then keep on joining us?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do
Yes.
it.
Nice, thank you. So, Giselle, why don't you share a short introduction of yourself and of Staken? Let's get started
Uh,
from there.
yeah, totally. All right. So, well, my name's Giselle. No surprise there. I'm from the Netherlands, actually, and I have been working in blockchain for the last almost 4 years now. In marketing, I started off as a content writer and then just kind of grew my way into becoming now chief marketing officer for Staken, a non-custodial staking validator provider. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Before that, for blockchain, I mostly worked on web design stuff, SEO, and cloud-based services also. So I've been like doing marketing for pretty technical companies for a long time now. But I can definitely say that blockchain has been one of the more fun things to do to market. So yeah, that's me.
Ah, nice. So, like when you say that, like it's one of the most fun things to market, can you elaborate a bit more about like how do you see what are the elements that make it different and so much fun to be in?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, for me, a big part of what makes blockchain and what makes validator marketing fun is just that like I really believe in the technology and I really believe in the ecosystem. So that, of course, helps a lot if you believe in what you market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Other than that, I feel like in blockchain and especially in the company staking that I work for, there's a lot more space for like experimenting, trying out new things, even if they don't always work. Where before I used to work for more traditional companies, so a cloud-based service provider that did audits for really big banks and corporate financial institutions. So you can imagine that there's not a lot of wiggle room there, It has to be done a certain way, and there's not like a lot of space for new things and innovation or just trying out something for the sake of seeing whether or not it will work. And I do have that privilege now, so that I feel like makes my job a lot more fun.
Sure, that is true. Marketing, I believe, has a lot of element of experiments in it. If you're not experimenting enough, if there's so many things we just write off because nobody has done them before, and then without experiment, it will probably never be tried again. That is so true. And that makes it fun also, actually. What do you say to that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're just like A/B testing throughout life, right? So not just on the emails, but on everything. And I think that's, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay. So, Giselle, why don't you, on the same subject, why don't you talk about some of the experiments that you had run which turned out to be very successful, especially like in the marketing aspect?
Yeah, so some of the experiments that we done. So I think before I dive into that, I think it's important to note that because we are a validator for multiple networks in the proof of stake ecosystem. So anything from near that we're working on with you guys, but also Cosmos, everything. It has like a little bit of an abstract vibe to it because we can never know like who we're marketing to specifically, right? We don't collect data, we don't do any of that stuff on purpose, but that also makes it a little bit more tricky from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot like track leads or anything like that because we just don't track. Um, yeah, that said, we've done a lot of experimenting lately with advertisements actually.
Mm-hmm.
We are also doing this with LinkedIn at the moment for a completely different like audience.
Mm-hmm.
So previously we've done a lot with Staking, we've done a lot focused on retail and it has been a lot of fun. We started a podcast, we started doing lots of Twitter spaces and all that. So we're really trying to educate and interact with the ecosystem. Then on the other hand, what we're doing now is running like email campaign things that are, really focused on B2B and LinkedIn. And then of course the advertisement stuff, which has been really new.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of fun. I've done like normal traditional advertising. So like, you know, just standard stuff like, hey, come on, buy this product. It's super cool. But of course, also when you work in crypto, you cannot even say that, right? So you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
make very, like circles around what you actually want to say to avoid getting kicked out by Google or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, it has been challenging, but it's good. It's good. I can't complain.
So, one of the problems that you, as correctly pointed out, the problem is that we are not collecting data, right? So, there is nothing that we can use as to benchmark or chart a user journey or see
Yeah.
how the complete user is behavior, and there's no benchmarks for user behavior. So that is one problem I believe all web3 marketers are facing these days. So are there any hacks or rule of thumbs that you use to segregate and you can share with the audience?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I cannot speak like for the entire Web3 ecosystem, but I know that we are not tracking users or leads through anything. Of course, we have Google Analytics on our website,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about it. I think that's very traditional and very simple. But yeah, so what I would recommend and what I always try to do is simply just ask. So it sounds super silly and it sounds so simple, but we're in this space where everyone really wants to help. So ask your community, ask other communities, like, hey, what would you like to see from us? Like, how can we help? How can we support? And there will be, I mean, okay, like 80 or 60% will be nonsense answers, of course. Like, there's always trolls and there's always people that think they're really funny. But there's also going to be a lot of good answers and there's going to be a lot of valuable information there. Do polls, do just direct questions when you're talking with a customer through customer support or anything. Talk to them and ask them, like, okay, so, we solved your problem. Are there anything that you would like to see of us? Is there anything we can help with otherwise? And, that way you get a lot of good information.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, I feel like, 2023, does it really matter whether someone's like a male or female or binary or whatever? Like, it shouldn't really matter for like what you're trying to promote, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
a big part of it is just having a good story, having a good value add,
Mm-hmm.
really clearly communicating the USPs and just be open and honest. I feel like that's super important with this current, market.
So, are there any tools like you mentioned Google Analytics? Apart from
Yeah.
that, are there any other tools that you are using to help yourself with the marketing?
I mean, yeah, we're using like I would say normal marketing platforms.
Okay.
Um, so like yeah, we use Google Analytics of course, Google SEO for that as well. We
Mm-hmm.
use a social media planner, some bots on Discord to like answer standard questions, do the verification systems, all that. Nothing too crazy. I think we keep it very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, graphic design tools, all that stuff. But I don't really use them myself. Luckily, I have someone for that. Yeah, so like we used to use Hootsuite also for social media. What else do we use? Hotjar, I think.
Any Web3 tools that you have used and found very
Um,
useful?
so we're actually working right now with the Crew 3 guys to do some more community stuff. We're looking into kind of getting more fun ways to engage with our community apart from customer service. So that's one. But other than that, we haven't really, we haven't really used that many crazy new tools, to be honest. We keep everything very simple.
Any tool that you have in mind for Web3? Like I am seeing quite a few new tools being advertised on Twitter space. Anything you came across?
Um, not in particularly. I am because of like the nature of the company that we work for. We're always extremely careful with connections and adding anything to our databases and our stuff, if that makes sense. For well, mostly security reasons. So, I usually like to wait a long time and see if it works for more out there projects and companies before trying it myself. Because, yeah, security is a really big thing for us. And I think, not just for us, actually, probably for Stater as well, right?
That is so true. Like, we have to think 10 times before giving access to anybody or any tool or any third party. Most of them is few handful with which we have worked. I am more like, you please let me know what data you need, and I will share the data itself with you as and when possible, like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, Giselle, what is a typical day for you? Like if you could take us through a day as a marketer, what does it look like?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. I mean, yeah, I think it's not that crazy, but I when we start like really, really in the beginning, I wake up, I walk my dog, I do my breakfast, all that kind of stuff. Usually what I do is I run through our communities, the Discord, email, and stuff for the first hour. Then I try to select any kind of action items that I need from there and try to answer any kind of questions that our clients might have had throughout the night. And then I just kind of get kickstarted. Currently, we're very busy with redesigning our website, so that's a lot. That takes a lot of time, but it's a lot of fun. So I work with the graphic designer and stuff to work all of that out. A lot of backlog information adding. So that's like a big part of my life. Obviously, also, we create a lot of content, me and the marketing team. So it's a lot of editing and one-on-ones and catch-ups and marketing meetings and all of that stuff for me. Um, and yeah, I try also, and this is probably one of the things I'd really recommend to everyone is to find like really good newsletters, really good news outlets that are very trustworthy. And I try always to take about 30 minutes each day to like go through and select the information that might be useful for us. We are currently running on over 50 blockchain network, so there's a lot of news to keep up with. Luckily, I don't have to do it all myself, but I try to. And I try to always be aware of like what's going on in the market, what's going on with the networks, what are like upcoming things, which test nets will go live, which mainnets will go live, like all that stuff. And then usually at the end of the day, I just run through by my team to check if they need anything, and then I just try and relax. I have to say, it can be hard. I mean, crypto, it goes 24/7, and especially right now, of course, with the bear market, is a little bit more chill, but there has been definitely days where it felt like I have been working 24/7 also, which is okay, which it was cool, and I love it. I love being in this space. But definitely that's why I now set like the specific times, because just limiting myself to like 30 minutes to an hour of researching and news per day really helps me to focus and get everything done without getting kind of stuck in that loophole of infinite crypto news.
Yeah. So you just said, Giselle, that you have like Staken is present on approximately 50 blockchains, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So do you have like individual you're marketing for individual each, or do you have it like central for Staken itself? How do you
So,
structure your team?
oh yeah, so basically we have like specific people working on ecosystems. So it's not per blockchain, it's per ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Um, who help me and help create content, help create interact with the community there and all of that stuff. They're
Mm-hmm.
called protocol wizards. So there's kind of four aspects of what we do. So we do staking retail promotion, then we do staking institutional promotion and marketing for that, and then we do educational stuff and promotion for the networks and for the ecosystems. This usually is in partnership or as part of like mainnet or testnet contributions.
Okay. Okay. So how big of a team you have?
So actually currently the staking marketing team is only 4 people.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So we work very hard, but it's a lot
Obviously,
of fun.
must be hard, like
And we really enjoy it.
four
And
or
of
five
course,
people managing so many blockchains and the central itself.
yeah, but
It's fun.
a lot of the times, yeah, like you've been in the space for a long time, so it's like if that's why it's per ecosystem. If, for example, if you look at Cosmos, like if you already know about 4 of them, then number 5, will be easy to understand as well, and that's why yeah, we go per ecosystem on things.
So in the like you have been in marketing for Web3 for almost 4 or 5 years now, right? Like from a content writer perspective, from a content writer to a graphic designer, and now being the CMO, right? So what are some of the best or offbeat experiments or campaigns that you have come across? Anything memorable that stays in your mind?
You know what? Actually, yes, there's one.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone probably knows it. The crypto.com video with what's his name? Matt Damon. The reason why it sticks out for me is actually not because the campaign itself was that cool or anything. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously, like I think some of the NFT projects have done like way more outgoing and crazy things. But the
Mm-hmm.
reason it really has stick with me, I mean, like I said, I'm from the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
So when this aired, like my grandma's for the first time in like years, my grandma was like, "Hey, I saw this ad on the television. I think I know what you do now." And I was like, "Oh wow, this is impressive." My grandma doesn't speak English.
Oh, nice.
Like she only speaks Dutch, and that's it. So it was like a subtitled commercial, and
And she was
just
still able to
having,
connect with it.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like that was really impressive
Yeah.
in that sense. Like Yeah, because she was always really confused about what I do, and not just her, like a lot of people in general, right? So I think that definitely opened the doors to a lot of new people, and yeah, that is eventually what we want. So
Explaining to our family what we are doing is, I think, probably that should be one of the hardest tasks. What do you actually do, especially
yeah,
in Web3 and crypto? It's
yeah, I
exciting,
stopped
exciting in
trying.
full measures. It's a tough up game. Yeah, it's an uphill task. Yeah. So
Hmm.
I wanted to ask, one thing about see, so many people want to enter into web3, they want to genuinely enter into crypto. Okay,
Yeah.
but crypto traditionally has been seen as a very tech focused or very finance, you have to be savvy to be a part of it. So do you say that it is true, and or not, and if, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's true to a limit. Like, of course, if you want to be a developer or something, yeah, you gotta be, you gotta know how to do it. Like, don't ask me, I don't know. But if you want to be like in sales or in marketing or in communications or graphic design, then I don't think you need to be like tech savvy in the sense of like, of course, you need to know how to work the platforms and stuff, but that's with any kind of job. So I wouldn't say you necessarily need to be. For me, the biggest thing that I look for also when I hire new people is a willingness to learn, and to be very active, because like this space is constantly evolving and we need a lot of new people, and it will be great to have people from all walks of life join the ecosystem, because that way it can grow in the best way possible. So if there's any new people like that want to join and they're not sure if they can do it, I think just be willing to like grind for a bit and be willing to really dive into subjects, and then you should be good. You don't need to know everything, but you definitely need to be open, and to be open to talk to a lot of people, learn new things, just get in there, go to like random meetups, all that stuff.
Basically, be a sponge in the initial days. Just
Yeah,
absorb as
definitely.
much as you can.
Yeah, I think that's definitely you know one of the most important things when you start off. It's what I used to do also, just like
And
read so much.
so, what are your favorite news sources, like, to get info and to keep yourself up to date?
Oh, so some of the ones that I like are I have to think about what to say. So I like Staking Rewards. They have a really good newsletter. They have a lot of also weekly overviews. So they're a super nice source of info. I know the guys well, so I know that they're also working really hard on getting the most accurate data possible.
Mm-hmm.
I also have the block. I really like their news and their reports as well. Blockworks is another one that I really like. And then outside of like just specifically blockchain,
Mm-hmm.
I also follow a guy from the Netherlands actually that does like fintech newsletters, which
Mm-hmm.
helps you kind of. I feel like that also really helps me to create more of a global view of like everything that's going on. It can be super focused on crypto and blockchain, but of course, anything that goes on in this market also does have a relation with like what's going on in the financial market in general, what's going on with the innovations outside of this space. So it's always good to keep an open eye on that as well.
And you know what? As per you, because you have come from that background, what is an average um, career path a budding Web3 marketer in blockchain would you suggest can have? What is the career path that they can chart?
Oh, I think the sky's the limit, right? Because to be to be honest, like in this space, you can be anything you want to be, like literally, as long as you want to learn. And like I started off as a content writer, and you just have to, keep going and prove that you can do what you're supposed to do, and then you can literally be whatever you want. I think I do think that a lot of people expect everything to go really fast, But I don't think that that's really the way anymore. Like it will take a couple of years, just like with any market by now. But it doesn't mean, it won't be worth it. So yeah.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So I lost you for a bit, Giselle. Can you please repeat the last answer in a short one? I'm so sorry for this. There seems to be some gap
Oh,
here.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, no worries. Yeah. I was just saying, like, I feel that the sky is the limit in terms of like, there's not really a traditional path.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can skip a lot of steps, but the most important thing is just be patient and do the work. And, if you're doing a fun startup, like, do what you gotta do to help and support the team, even if it's things that you've never done before or that maybe you find a little bit scary. That's okay. Just keep trying and work hard, and you can literally, I feel like in this ecosystem, you can literally do whatever you want.
Sounds fair. So, my the last question from me, Giselle. Web3
Mm-hmm.
is taken as a very, like, it's initially in a very it's an initial stage. So there is a lot of focus on dev. Everybody is building. So, how do you feel that in this environment, marketing can contribute to the product development? What sort of role does marketing play there?
So, I mean, when it comes to like product management and product marketing,
Hmm.
the concept's quite simple, right? I mean, you can create or build the most amazing thing ever, but if no one knows about it, it's not going to get very far.
Hmm.
So, obviously, that's what marketing has to do, but for me what's really important is that you're supposed to be a team with everyone.
Hmm.
So if you join, like, let's say you join a new company or a startup in Web3, and you're going to do the marketing for them, sit down with the development team, really learn and understand what they're doing, what their vision is. And
Hmm.
once you figure that out, you know, if you figure out what's the vision and where you want to go, then you
Hmm.
have a really solid base on like how to market the product. And of course, from the other way around, as a marketer, you have a lot more contact um, with the consumers, with the
Hmm.
ecosystem, with partners. So, bringing valuable information and valuable feedback back to them is also, big part of your marketing role.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think like we're all here to support and manage each other. Like it's a team effort. Even if sometimes maybe as a marketer it doesn't feel that way, it is at the end of the day. So that's super important.
That's true. I mean, marketing is actually, I believe, from any given company, sales and marketing are the two arms which are the closest to the consumer, and they are the ones who can actually bring what the consumer is expecting or wanting back to the company. So, Giselle, those are the questions that I had for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Only Bondman is here. Hey, Bondman, any questions from you for Giselle? Okay. No. So I think it's just the two of us. And
No
Giselle,
worries.
it was great connecting with you today. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here. And thank you so much for sharing your views.
No worries. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Bye. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye
Bye.
bye.